never slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that. Spitting slow, spitting fast, I could roast, I could gas. Think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past. And the pettiness, a reflection of the emptiness. Hilarious, you think you're worth my time, you're delirious. Mysterious, because you hide behind a fake exterior. Inferior, you know I'll always be a bit superior. Get off of me, this ain't no humble brag. I want you to hear words, you can say them back. I want you to feel free from the chains that last, and to believe in what you got, it was built to last, yeah.
Now that I've been put through, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Gonna learn the consequence of being incompetent. Mental health is confidence, dreams into modestness. I'm not here to save the day, that's for you to take away. I could play a million mind games, but instead I say something not illogical, something that is topical. Rub it on and watch it go, make yourself unstoppable. Dreams are irresponsible, but they're always possible. If you just believe, you could be so remarkable.
Thoughts in my head, a collage and they spread. I'll be great one day, going off of my meds. No, I'm not giving up, no, I'm not giving in. I will make it to the top, taking off in the wind. I gotta make it, I'm saving every day to taste it. I'm patient, but my mind, it can hardly take it. I'm chasing a dream that I've had for several ages. A vacant, modern kingdom for the taking.
Now that I've been put through.
This is Manny Pacquiao. Some will look at him and know right away what bloodline he comes down from. Manny has a very unique bone structure that you just don't see nowadays. The art of watering blood down from the 80s, 90s to now 2022 is very noticeable. We try to keep the dogs up to standard here at Kraken Kennels. Manny's topside is 75% or more of what makes Grand Champion Barracuda, sired by Malcont Piedra, a grandson of Barracuda. In fact, Piedra was created but breeding two direct offsprings of the late Grand Champion, a Cart Stoneman and Fia. Fia was a product of Barracuda himself, bred back to his littermate sister, making the blood unmatched when it come to purity. And Stoneman, also a son of the late Barracuda, bred back to one of the purest lines of Grand Champion Mayday ever assembled. Manny Pacquiao is not just a Mayday dog, though he has what some will say the best blood of all times. Grand Champion Buck and a lot of it. Stone City Kennels Jesse James Rodden 357. Stonewall Kennels Princess Buck. Southern Kennels Ice Day, and many more giants in the dog world. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to find out that this dog is bred out of this world. If history repeats itself, Manny should be able to make his mark in the game.
But if you like Manny, then wait until you see the sold family Southern Red named JD Hog. Unlike Manny, who is bred out of this world, JD Hog is bred out of this galaxy. He is 4 times more bulldog than his older cousin, with a perfect combination of Red Boy Jocko through his elders Grand Champion Mayday and Grand Champion Barracuda. Having the buck from Stone City Jesse Rodden 357 as Manny, JD Hog is rooted with a heavy blend of Red Boy through Boomer. As they say in the backstreet, JD Hog is the new sheriff in town. If you consider Manny Pacquiao a diamond in the rough, then you should see Jefferson Davis Hog as the blue diamond sold in Hong Kong. Unlike Manny, who is long and low to the ground, JD has leg under him, and his arms are like baseball bats. His veins protrude naturally from his chest. Jefferson Davis Hog carries the true old traits from the elder dogs in his pedigree. Unlike Manny, JD Hog was in the spotlight since he was a hand puppy, so he is more well known. True Mayday dogs aren't low and long, that only comes from bad breeding performed by Kraken Kennel, also known as Buck City and Malcont. The grandson of a Grand Champion on the top and bottom through Sita Boy's Connor, who is deceased, and Sita Boy's Red Lady. With one Rom dog Damien and 2 poor dogs in his 3rd generation, the dog you are looking at was carefully crafted like scientists in the lab with a new serum. Possessing thick long teeth like a Chinaman dog, JD Hog the packs the total package. Carrying the weight of Pelican Bay Kennels on his shoulders, this dog is calibrated for success. JD Hog, also known as the creator of the Old Family Southern Reds line of the American game dog, was bred to the Pelican Bay Kennels Mellow Yellow, a descendant of champion Big John, also known as a Walker Red. When bred together, they produce 5 puppies known as the Old Family Southern Reds, meaning they are carriers of the Old Carolina Bulldogs of the past. Don't get these dogs confused with Old Family Red Nose, because this is not my claim. Now that I gave you some insight on a real bulldog, I'm going to need you all to sit back and enjoy the show.
Thank y'all for tuning back in to your favorite channel. Pelican Bay K9 is giving it to you the way I always do, fair and unbiased. Some gonna like it, some ain't, man. Like I always tell y'all, hit that subscribe button if you haven't subscribed yet. That way you be in the loop when the video's dropping. Don't forget to hit that like button, and don't forget to drop down in the comments if you're not down in the chat. Big salute and big shout out to all my brothers and sisters down in the chat right now. Big shout out to all my brothers and sisters that came before the video dropped. You know, as soon as the video dropped, that was the first one in the chat. Big salute to all my brothers. Big salute to, and shout out to all the dog lovers from one side of the country to the other side of the world. We don't got no dog news today, but we got a lot of dog talk about. Some things when it comes to health, all different kind of things. We're going to touch the border. We're going to touch different playing fields, you know what I'm saying? We're going to touch different playing fields. But I appreciate y'all rocking with me today. It's your boy PBK9s. Let's get into this thing, man. First, I'm going to speak on stolen dogs. Okay, my brothers, the ones who, getting these stolen dogs. See, this is the thing. If you know a dog is stolen and you're out there using it, playing with it, doing this with it, doing that with it, and you in your mind, you thinking you're a dog man, but in a dog man mind, you're not in the same league, you're not in the same lane. The thing about it, you got to be willing to spend your own hard-earned cash for something if that's what you love. Whether you got it in 5 minutes or whether it took you 5 days or 5 weeks or 5 months to gather up the money. You know what I'm saying? When you spend your hard-earned money on that dog that you claim that you like or love, whether you feel like you in the game yet or just trying to discover, get in the game, the prices are what the prices is on these dogs out here. And for any brother to knowingly accept a dog that's stolen and use it with your head high with pride, and be around, be doing different things with a hot dog or a stolen dog that ain't yours, it's just undog manish. You know what I'm saying? It's just it's certain things that it just make real dog men stand out from the crowd of the rest. You know what I'm saying? And when you got brothers who will never buy dogs, and that's mainly who I'm speaking about. The ones who will never buy it. They will never pay more than $250. When you start talking about $500, it's like getting $3,000 from them. And they pretty much will deal with the paperless dogs, and the dogs that people hand down to them are the ones that they see on somebody's yard they don't want to pay for, and they go get them and they steal them. Them folk I'm basically talking about. Not dog men. You know what I'm saying? Not even the dog game. And when you let them kind of folk in the game, see, I'm gonna tell you how things work. A brother liable to take that stolen dog and come out here, take your money. You done work hard. You done got your dog. You done got him right. Back in them days, you done build him up, and you did everything the hard, honest way. He gonna take that stolen dog and come, beat you with it, and he can't get no credentials from it. He can't get no kind of credentials, but yeah, he stopped you from getting yours. He can't say, oh, this dog a 3-time, this dog a champion, or this dog grand champion back in them days, because he have no car title for it. He have no title to say, no ownership title. He can't put it out there. Now we in modern day time, see, stolen dogs, brothers really, got the best out of the stolen dog epidemic back in the days before the internet came out. You know what I'm saying? Right about now, it's too much social media for them brothers to be comfortable. You see, the thing about it, either when you get one from somebody, you got to have to leave it on the chain and never bring it out and stuff like that. which gets uncomfortable for certain dog men. It's different times. You know, when you start advertising a 5-timer and then you showing pictures of them. Brothers can't go without showing pictures, you know, on these Facebooks and talking about what they did. So I don't want to hear a brother say, oh, we just gonna be quiet and keep that 5-timer, that 9-time winner quiet on the low, ain't gonna never bring them out. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, when you know that ain't yours, or when you know that ain't somebody else on, man, you know what I'm saying? You ain't doing no better by letting them feel comfortable with it in your, you know, in your circle or in your area or on your land or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, you wouldn't want that to be your dog in another man's hand. You got to look at it both ways. Yeah, he happy he got some kind of dog that he didn't pay for. And, you know what I'm saying, he had heard it's the bloodline of all bloodlines and he want to get it. And he finally got it and he ain't had to do nothing but go in the yard and take it off the chain. Yeah, he happy now. But believe me, you won't benefit from that in the long run. You know what I'm saying? And that's not, you know what I'm saying, that's not dog man character, man. And the reason I speak on this, you know, we may not hear about it. You know, it may not be one of the things that brothers speak on every day, channel to channel. You know what I'm saying? But you got to look at it like this. A lot of these brothers ain't willing to pay for these dogs. But the dog game is full. And the dog game is everybody in it. You know, everybody claiming they in it. But everybody don't want to pay for them dogs. You know what I'm saying? Brothers have other ways to get it. And everybody don't go that route. You got brothers who give brothers dogs, brothers who farm dogs out, all different ways. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of the brothers who go get the dogs off the yard probably could get the dogs farmed to them if they would have just asked. But the thing about it, man, you know, like I say, a lot of dog men will look out for a dog man if he know he really trying to deal with that dog, take care of that dog, and do the right things with that dog. And if he trying to do the right things in the dog game in general, you know, and then when a dog man just look at you and can read you and just see what you about already, you know what I'm saying, they just gonna play it like that. Just, you know, if you ain't got the money, you just got to go holler at somebody else. And then you get the brother who say, oh, okay, all right, then he double back. And that's why brothers don't allow brothers to their yards. You know what I'm saying? Simple fact. It's a few reasons. You know, you got to watch for brothers pulling out the cameras, recording when you tell them don't record. One of the main reasons. Brother double back on you, stealing your stuff. One of the main reasons. You know what I'm saying? There's no trust. The dog game is pretty much out of whack. You know, it's out of whack. So when you ask yourself, do you want to be in the dog game? Are you ready for this dog game? You know what I'm saying? If you're not ready to pay for it, that's the first thing that should let you know. Just stay out of it, make other moves, get into something else. You know what I'm saying? Because you're gonna spend a lot of money in this dog PItBull game, and you ain't gonna make it back. You know, you're not gonna make it back until you establish what you gotta establish. But you think you're just gonna go buy a dog and just gonna go start making millions and millions? It don't work like that. You know what I'm saying? Don't work like that. Now let's move on, man. You know, because no matter how much I talk, it ain't gonna make some of them brothers go over 250. You know, man, give me 300. You know, you want to stay at 250. Man, hell with them. You know what I'm saying? Like I said before, by the time I give a little puppy shots, I done spent 250. And we just talking about shots alone. We ain't talking about nothing else. But that's whole nother story, man. You know what I'm saying? All right. When it comes to my veterans in the dog game, when I say veterans, I don't mean military vets. I mean old schoolers. You know, the vets in the dog game, they demand respect. Whether they say it or not, they demand respect. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing, you know, and they don't mind telling you. And truthfully, that's why the term the greenhorn was created. Because if it wasn't, brothers was all acting accordingly, you know, the term greenhorn would never be created. Greenhorn is, you know, what a greenhorn is. But veterans had to classify themselves separately from the person who out here talking about something. They don't know what they talking about, or get over here running their mouth about this, running their mouth about that, and they just sit back listening like, now I'm not talking about a story. I'm talking about the dogs in general. And they just be sent back like, oh, so that's what you think of how you get that accomplished. Oh, that's what you think on what they did on this or that or this or that. You can just listen to certain comments about certain things. Like when we was talking to Mr. Claude, he said, one of my homeboys was saying he wanted a dog back in them days. Mr. Claude Puckett I'm speaking about. He wanted a dog that grabbed nuts. He was telling that Mr. Claude was like, hey, after a certain period of time, they gonna go numb. So, what you want them to stay in a numb area that is not hurting the other dog? And this is way back in the 90s, Mr. Claude was telling us this. It's just veterans, a rookie or a greenhorn say things automatically that makes them obvious. You know what I'm saying? Let you know that they're green. It's just all about, being humble. It's all about being humble. Always be willing to learn and understand that you don't know it all and you need to take in more knowledge. You know what I'm saying? And if you understand that you have room to learn, nobody knows everything. And we're going to get to that too later on in this video about certain things. Nobody knows everything. But what makes a greenhorn even worse is when you think you're not green, or when you think you know it all and you won't accept no kind of knowledge. You know what I'm saying? You won't accept the knowledge. See, a fool and his money are part ways, is what they say. And see, from what a lot of y'all brothers was speaking on about past days, a lot of brothers speak on money stuff. So if you speaking on money, was you winners or was you losers? Because if you're speaking on money, if you was winning, then you was winning the money. But if you wasn't winning, that means you was losing all that money that y'all be talking about. And like I say, vet will spot a greenhorn from a mile away. And vets eat greenhorn. See, what a crooked veteran likes, is when you get a greenhorn, talk with a pocket full of money, and he's not an honest greenhorn. Excuse me. He just think he know it all, talking, and till this brother tell him a few things that he see he don't understand, but he still know it all. And then that brother end up, getting that bread out of his pocket. Getting that bread out of his pocket, giving him a dog that he don't even realize what kind of dog he got. Might be a cur, might be a what they used to call it, practice dog or something. Might be a catch dog or something like that. Could be a bay dog. When I say bay, I don't mean the kind of bay when they talking about with that dog fighting stuff. I'm talking about bay like a hog dog. You know what I'm saying? Could be one of them kind. But at the end of the day, it's about, like I said, being humble, knowing that you have a whole lot of room to learn. Even at my age that I am now, if I was still living like I was back then, it's things that I can learn. You never know it all. You never know it all. Now, I did some research on Babesia, and we're going to talk about that as well. I'm going to give y'all that in a few minutes. It's going to be in computer voice, but you get your pen and pad down, and you might get a few things you can jot down from that computer voice telling you when it comes to Babesia and these dogs. You know what I'm saying? Now, let's talk about this. Why a lot of people can't tell their story. Why a lot of people can't get up here on these YouTube channels and tell their story. It ain't because they don't want to be hot or none of that. No, man, it ain't because of that. Because see, what y'all gonna find out, especially the ones trying to start channels, I'm not really talking about the ones that's, got their channels that are running, the ones trying to start them, and the ones who sit in the back streets and talk about this brother's story or talk about that brother's story or knock that brother's story or knock that brother's story. And I'm asking you, why y'all don't Or we don't see more brothers giving them bulldog stories, being that we know everybody had bulldogs back in the days. Because nobody wants to seem, quote unquote, wants to tell the story when they was, quote unquote, unperfect. See, everybody want to tell the stories when they won, but nobody want to tell the stories when their dog lost, or when their dog jumped, or when their dog ran back to the car, or when their dog ran down the street, or when their dog went down in the box, or anything, or when they cheated and got caught cheating, rubbing. No, nobody want to tell them stories. We make mistakes. Everybody seems to be perfect in this pit bull game. You know what I'm saying? With their dogs, with their records, with their feed program, with their keep, you know what I'm saying? With their puppies, breeding program. Everybody seems to be perfect. And that's all cool. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, we can't get these stories on these dogs. A lot of dogs, we can't get them. Because in order to tell the good, you got to tell the bad. And a lot of y'all brothers got too much pride to tell the bad side of your dog game. When your dogs wasn't winning, or when you had bullshit dogs, or when you liked these lines and before you got this line. You know, a lot of brothers got too much pride to get in and talking about all that. But you want to knock what the next brother do, or what the next brother say when he give you his story, or have the courage to come on a social media platform and give their story. It's easy to knock it. But like I say, everybody in the dog game perfect. Everybody got a perfect record. Everybody undefeated with a hellified breeding program. So let's move on to the next thing. Now, I'm going to go ahead and get this Babesia video over. You know, like I said, it's in the computer voice. Y'all write some notes if you can get some notes off of it. I try to make it as clear as possible, the way you can understand what she was talking about. So she's going to tell you pretty much how it started, or not necessarily how it started, but how your dog can get it. You know, the treatments for it. What kind of dogs pretty much have it more than other dogs, because you know the pit bulls or terrier dogs have it a little more than other dogs. Dogs that's being held in kennels, like you will hear us say, get it more than other dogs. The brown tick is a carrier of it. More things than that is carriers of the Babesia, as well as Lyme disease. You know, there's Babesia that dogs can get as well as humans, you will hear her say. But the ones dogs can get, it's not dangerous to humans. You know, I can't go get Babesia from my dog. It's a strain of Babesia made for humans. You know, and it's going to tell you about all that. And like I said, it's in the computer voice, so you may want to jot a note or two down. You know, I think it's about 5 or 6 minutes long. You know, she's speaking on every single thing. It may not even be that long. It might be about 3-4 minutes. You know, but she's talking about different medicines and things like that as well, I want to say. But y'all sit back, man. Babesia, and she going to speak on prevention too. You know what I'm saying? So y'all hit that like button. Y'all sit back, check the Babesia research out. You know where you got it. You know where you get it from, PB Canines. Let's get into it.
Caused by the protozoa Babesia, is an emerging infection of dogs. This emergence may be related to increasing ticks, range expansion and abundance, and dog importation. Specific breeds, i.e. some members of the terrier group, greyhounds, are at increased risk of infection. Dogs can have subclinical disease, i.e. no clinical signs, or illness that ranges from mild, e.g. lethargy, reduced appetite, to severe, e.g. pallor and weakness related to anemia. Severe disease can result in death. Infection is spread through tick bites and exposure to infected dog blood. Infected dogs, even those without clinical signs, can spread the infection to other dogs, particularly in kennels. Prevention hinges on effective tick control on dogs and in facilities, and through prevention of dog-to-dog transmission through blood, e.g. dog bites, bitch to puppies, blood transfusion. What is it? Canine babesiosis can be found worldwide and is due to infection with the protozoa Babesia. Several disease-causing species of Babesia important for dog health have been identified, including Babesia canis, subspecies Vogeli, canis, Rossi, B. gibsoni, B. vulpes, and B. conradi. Veterinarians often diagnose infection incidentally, i.e. subclinical infection, or after owners bring their dog to be examined at a sudden illness, such as not eating, lack of energy, fever, or pallor, pale gums, due to anemia. Who gets it? Domestic dogs and cats can be infected with Babesia spp. Dogs of specific breeds, i.e. some members of the terrier group, greyhounds, particularly those in group housing such as kennels, are most commonly infected. Other risk factors for infection include lack of appropriate or consistent tick prevention and history of dog bites or blood transfusion. Can people get sick with it? Yes. However, the species of Babesia that infect pets are not known to infect people. People can become infected from tick bites with different species of Babesia, e.g. Babesia microti. Dogs are not involved in these human infections. Babesia vulpes parasites in a canine blood smear under microscopic magnification used with permission. Noel Clancy, Atlantic Veterinary College, 2akcchf.org goosu.edu/ID canine risk. How is it spread? Transmission and infection risk. In dogs, infection with Babesia spp can occur from tick bites or dog blood. Several species of ticks, brown dog tick, American dog tick, can transmit Babesia spp to dogs after attaching and feeding for 2 to 3 days. Transmission of B. gibsoni is thought to occur through blood directly from an infected dog, e.g. bites from fighting, blood transfusion, infected bitch to puppies. Dogs that appear healthy, subclinical, chronic infection or recovered, can still transmit Babesia spp to another dog or tick. What should I look for? Signs of disease. Dogs infected with Babesia spp may have no signs of disease, subclinical, or may have severe or chronic to intermittent disease, waxing and waning fever, lethargy, reduced appetite. Severe signs of disease are largely due to red blood cell and platelet destruction. Signs can include pallor, weakness, pinpoint bleeding, petechia, and jaundice. Less commonly, kidney disease, neurologic, or respiratory signs, cough, difficulty breathing, can occur. How is it diagnosed? Your veterinarian will diagnose canine babesiosis based on increased suspicion in certain breeds, i.e. some members of the terrier group, greyhounds, history, e.g. recent history of dog bites, tick exposure, clinical signs, and examination findings. A complete blood count, CBC, may show anemia and thrombocytopenia, reduced red blood cells and platelets, respectively, or evidence of the Babesia organism within the red blood cells. Further blood testing, such as antibody testing, serology, or a PCR test, may be needed to confirm infection and identify the specific Babesia species involved. Coagulation testing, imaging radiographs, ultrasound, and other diagnostic tests may be advised dependent on disease severity. In dogs with chronic, intermittent, or subclinical disease, interpretation of test results can be challenging. In this case, your veterinarian may advise multiple, serial, blood samples. Referral to a veterinary specialist may be advised. What is the treatment? Treatment varies with the infecting Babesia species, and side effects may occur with any of the treatments.
Now, I wanted to address something that we were speaking about on my last live, me and one of the bros and the brothers in the chat, and it was how early, or what is too early to introduce a child to the box, or what kind of advice would you give for a child that want to learn about the box, 10 years old, 11 years old. All right, and I'm just going to speak on that from my opinion. And the reason I'm speaking on it, because it came back to my mind. It came back to my mind. I didn't really get a chance to say what I wanted to say about it, or as far as we didn't get a chance to get too deep into it. We didn't get a chance to get too deep into it. Now, first thing I want to say, if you never introduce him to something, he won't want to know what it is. For one, it's like he won't miss it. He won't know how good. See, you might think it was good back then. He won't know how good it is, if you never introduce him to it. Okay, my first point. He can't miss what he ain't ever had. Okay, now, maybe back in the days, it would have been, logical. You could see that happening, and how, the sons hang with the daddies and the grandkids and all that. You can see all that happen, all the daughters or whatever, but not in modern day time. You know, back then it would have been normal, but right now it's not normal. You know, and I'm gonna ask you a few things, and we're gonna cover a few things to show you and to see why it's not normal. You know, what will be the first thing that you teach a 10 or 11-year-old about the box? That's my first question to my brothers in the chat. What would be the first thing you could teach somebody 11, 12 years old about the box? Okay. Now, we talking about modern day times. You know, like I said, if we was talking about back in the days, you know, it was a whole different environment. But see, truthfully now, instead of schooling him on that box, you know, what you got to do, the first thing you got to school him to is the crooks, the thieves, the snakes, the haters, and the streets. You know, body motion, facial expressions, you know, all type of facial expressions, so he can know or she can know when something may not be right. Now, can the average 10-year-old, 11-year-old, you know, take that in and understand what's what? You know, can they do it? Because see, that's what you got to introduce them to if you're going to teach them about the box in modern day time, because you just got to be real with them. If you're teaching them about that part and ain't teaching them about this part, you ain't being real with him or her. You know what I'm saying? See, this the thing. You want to teach them about the box. First thing you want to do, put them out there, what you consider a box, and tell them to run. Tell them to break off running. Now you turn around and you run after him like the police. See how far he get. Because that's what's going to happen when he around that box. Everybody going to run, and you going to be around there with your son or your daughter standing around. He going to run, and he going to get caught. Now you going to have to stop. You know, maybe when you see and you tell him to run off, run, go, and he can't get but so far, then you'll see the box is not the place for him to be at. The box is not the place for him to even be thinking about at them ages. If he decide to go to the box when he's of age, yeah, that's different. You know, you got to, and then you try to take all you could take in when you could take it in. You know, you take it all if brothers wanted that life that brothers had back in them days, you should have basically didn't get the laws where they changed. It's brothers making mistakes with these dogs, different places to get the laws the way they turn. You know what I'm saying? They didn't just turn these laws the way like they is now. These laws got switched because of mistakes that different people make. You know, different people make. So now they figure it's a problem. It's an epidemic. So now they make laws for this and they make laws for that. You know? But at 10, 11, 13 years old, you know, what can you comprehend about a modern day dog game other than dogs on your yard that you like? That ain't the dog game. You know, you got to be real with them if you're going to give them the box. You teaching them one part of the box, but see, daddy never, I'm out here at this square now, daddy never taught me this part of the box. You know, he never taught me this part. This is where they cheating me at, you know, or where they doing something I don't understand at, or where these guys over here, you know, these guys look real funny, but I can't really read them. I can't really feel their intentions because, you know, I can't read them. You know, daddy didn't teach me none of that. He taught me about these dogs. You know, daddy prepared me for the 80s dog game. But this ain't the 80s. This 2024. And like I said before, you know, knowing what I know, I wouldn't, you know, have a child around that type of environment as far as a box and that type of stuff. You can always raise your child around your dogs and helping you with your dogs, doing the positive things with them. You know, I totally support that. But when it comes to teaching them about that box, you don't want them children to be at that school and then they have some type of special guest appearance there, and maybe just today they talking about dog fighting. You know, because back in the days, they used to do the deer trucks and all that, and they'll talk about drugs and bring the little dog to school or bring the big Labrador or whatever to school, and they'll bring some fake drugs in the class to show you this and show you that. You know, maybe just this particular day, they're going to be talking about dog fighting. Now, when they're in there, your 10, 11, 12-year-old don't comprehend that he ain't supposed to be talking about any and everything with any and everybody. Just so happen, he get the urge to blurt out something that catches that officer attention about what his daddy got. Oh, my daddy showed me this, or my daddy showed me that. It could be anything. You know, the first thing they gonna say is, why a child that age knowing anything about this subject? You see? It's too much bad that's affiliated with that box to try to groom a child up around the box. You know what I'm saying? It's too much bad, you know? Too much. By the time you waste your time grooming him up around that box, you could have put that time you took grooming him up around that box, and that box is not going to lead to nothing positive at the end of the day. Nothing at all. You wasted football champ, doctor time, nurses time, fireman time, lawyers time. Child could have been anything. You know? Anything he want to be in the world. But you took all that time and focused it on a box. And like I said, man, you know, let me ask you this. I'm not going to say 14, because when I was 14, I could comprehend a lot of things. I was toting straps and all that, you know. Got my first 25, and I was out in the streets by all that by then. But we talking 10, 11 and stuff like that. Can you have them around a box? Can they comprehend how to use a pistol? Okay, granted, yes they can. Yes they can. But they can comprehend how to use a pistol without being under stress. You know, your 10 and 11-year-old not gonna comprehend how to use a pistol under stress. Say for instance, the clip fall out, you know, while the shooting going on in his gun. Clip fall out before he get a chance to shoot. Will he know what to do? Will he know how to grab it? What to do? You know, just the simple things that children not ready for when it comes to this modern day box. This ain't the box that you thought it was back in the 90s or the 80s. These brothers play the game different. Guns, drugs, everything at the square. You know, you used to come to the square with no money. To say if you just watching it with your peoples, you might be one of the guests on either side. You might don't have no money involved, period. You just want to see the good show. Man, you're not worried about it. Now, shit, man, you better, hey, I tell you what, they got everything out there for sale, and probably don't tell them who all gonna have guns. And guns ain't no problem. See, everybody can tote guns, but it's when you have the other stuff involved when a gun ain't meant for the same thing. You see? And then when you talk about introducing a young child to the box, that's what all the stuff you got to keep in mind. You know, at the end of the day, you trying to, what you wanted to do is introduce him to the love of the game or the love of the dog and show him the ins and outs of the love of the dog game. That's what you is intended on doing or saying. But that would only work in the 80s, 90s, 70s, 60s, 50s, 40s, and days like that. Modern day 2024, you know, you got to school him on the bad stuff, because he going to bump into the bad stuff in them boxes before he bump into anything good. You know, I statistically prove this right here. Before your 11-year-old have his own grand champion in that square, he will have to run from that one of them squares. You know, it may not even be a square. It may be just a scene. He will break camp. He will bump into somebody that will try to play him at one of them squares before he have a grand champion, before he ever have a champion. He will bump into somebody that may try to rob him, somebody that's going to cheat him before he have any of them level of dogs in that square. You see, he going to see all that bad stuff before he get a chance to see what daddy was talking about with this grand champion or this champion and all that. So why even risk it, is what I'm saying. Why risk it? If you love him, you know, and you want him to be and see the right things in life, you know, then you don't introduce him to the square. You introduce him to the great and legal part of the dog game. Stuff that y'all can make legal money and bring legal money into the household with. You know, set them up for success. But yeah, man, let's keep this thing rolling, man. Let's keep it rolling. We got some things to talk about today. You know what I'm saying? Things to talk about. I want to send a big salute, man. Big salute to everybody that, like I say, be supporting the channel. Everybody that be rocking with me. All the new dog channels that's coming out, man. Big salute to all y'all brothers as well. You know, all y'all brothers as well. Now, I do want to say, you know, it's real important, man, to keep these dogs' blood count right. You know, some folks say you don't really want it too high, but you definitely don't want it low. You know what I'm saying? And they make machines the same way they make machines for every other thing. They make machines to check your blood count. Only thing different between them machines and brothers having them, brothers don't, the majority of brothers don't take blood count as serious as they're supposed to. You know, the same way a lot of folk don't take heartworms as serious as they're supposed to. And giving them their heartworm vaccinations when they supposed to get them. The same way about the blood count. The same way I say before, some brothers gonna do what you not gonna do, and that's why they gonna beat you all the time, hands down. You know? And like the brother said last week, when Mr. Young was saying, some people just can get some things out of dogs that other people can't. You know, some people just can do it. You got brothers and sisters all across this country and world that's gifted in that same manner that can get things out of these dogs that other people can't get. You know, and then when you got people like that and they do the extra for that dog, you know, they gonna check the blood, they gonna check this or they gonna check that. They gonna see why the gums ain't quite as pink as they supposed to be, looking a little pale, or his appetite is not as where it's supposed to be at. He's not eating as much as he's supposed to be eating. They gonna pay attention to all that. You know what I'm saying? And they ain't gonna just let it go, oh, he ain't eating that much now or whatever. And you know, a person, some folk rely on strictly that pedigree and what that dog's supposed to be bred like to think they gonna get a grand champion. You know what I'm saying? And one thing about these dogs, man, you know, in these puppies, I see a lot of different videos and different things. These dogs gotta be groomed from young pups, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna tell you right now, brothers who grooming them dogs from young pups and dealing with these dogs from young pups, hand pups, to the time they old, y'all brothers who got these dogs and ain't dealing with them, leaving them on chains till they get half grown, they not competing on that level. You know? And like I told you before, you can do certain things to dogs to trigger off certain traits over a period of time. Just like I say about the scary gene. You know, you can make your dog activate these genes in these dogs. A dog don't have to be a scary acting dog. He don't have to possess that actual trait of a scary dog, you know. But over the period of time since you had him, he became a scary dog. Now you have activated that trait of scary dogs in that particular female dog, you know, or male dog. And if it's the female dog, she can pass it down into her puppies. You know, a dog that wasn't always scary, you turned scary, activated the scary dog trait in that dog. Now she passes it down to her puppies. They coming out shy, which makes you have to work with them even harder, you know, because you're not trusting humans. You know, have more of a wild type mentality. And you have to work with them harder, where another dog that's not, you know, just don't have that trait in them, gonna come up and be more domesticated acting. Oh, I do want to speak on timing, what Mr. Johnny was speaking about, you know, last week as well. When it comes to timing, and that's so perfect. That's a perfect statement. He said you couldn't do 2 and 3 and 4 shows when you did all your injectables and stuff like that. You know, and that's a proven fact. I've witnessed it, and I went through that, and I suffered through it. You know what I'm saying? When I say suffered, I mean I lost through it for that exact reason, and I knew what was gonna happen. You know, it's like, you ever did something and like, okay, like Mr. Johnny was telling us about you know, couldn't do the 1, 2, and 3 shows when you're giving them all the injectables and stuff like that. Everything is timed. Everything has a set release as it's releasing in the body, working in the body. So if I got my show time for 5 o'clock in the evening, you know, and everything I'm giving him is sought to take place and work in him during that 5 to 7 o'clock, 5 to 6 o'clock, 5 to 5:30, you know, 5 to 6 time, and then no, I don't go at 5, I go in at 9 tonight. Now, I got a whole different dog. I got a bunch of stuff in him that's not gonna really work no more. And it's a great possibility, 9 times out of 10, all the stuff that you got in him now is gonna make him overheat. And that's exactly what happened to me. You know, my timing was one time, I didn't make that time. Not on my fault, on the guests, the people that was hosting the show fault. I didn't make that time. Came in hours and hours later and got out hunted by what I felt was a less quality dog at that time. You know what I'm saying? And then when another brother got the same dog, after all the stuff that got out of his system, he got the same dog, and the dog just start, every dog he put him on is just winning. It's just winning. It's just winning. He would have won that night. I just had the stuff in him, and everything, you know, gotta be timed right. It can't be you shooting no decks in them or you shooting something else in them when you know you got the show in the evening and you shooting it just in the middle of the day and you don't got the timing right. You can't just shoot stuff without having the timing right and any of them injectables when it comes to going to them shows like that. You know what I'm saying? So that was a great statement Brother Johnny made, and I wanted to bring that back up as well. Big salute to the brothers down in the chat. You know what I'm saying? Y'all keep taking care of them dogs the way y'all doing. Hope y'all having a great February. You know, hope y'all having a great February, man. You know. Now, one thing, let me say, I was speaking on puppies and conditioning them for to be great dogs when they get older, man. You know, great adult dogs start from puppies. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to tell you, it can be the brother who breeding some of the best dogs in the world, and he just leave his dogs on the chain. But when you get that dog, if you put more effort and time into that dog, you're going to have better dogs acting-wise than what he got. Not bloodline-wise, but acting-wise, you know? And certain dogs that may act a certain way on his yard may not act that way with you because you're doing other things with the dogs. You know what I'm saying? And that's just how it go, man. That's just how it go. Dogs love activity. They love being social. You know, they don't just like sitting on the chain. When you just sit a dog on the chain, you get the bad side of any breed of dog. No matter what kind of dog it is, when you just sit him on that chain and he does nothing, you get the bad side of that dog. You know, the bad side of that dog. Now, I'm gonna speak on some questions some brothers was asking me. You know, want me to answer and talk about. You know, and the first question brother was talking about was the Macho Bear frozen semen that's out available right now, and he wanted me to speak on the price of it. Do I think that's a reasonable price? And he wanted me to answer, would I get a breeding from the frozen semen or would I get a puppy? Would I be rather satisfied with the puppy? Now, when I'm giving you this, I'm going to give it to you fair and unbiased, and then I'm going to give you my opinion as well. You know, first thing I will say, when it comes to the Macho Bear semen, I really have no opinion about that. I'm going to stop. I can't comment on, whether it's real or whether it's fake. That brother got his own, setup. He says Macho Bear. You just got to go with it. If he says, whoever he say it is, or whoever any brother that got frozen semen say it is, that's just the thing you got to go with. You got to trust that brother. If you can't trust them, then you don't need to be dealing with them. You know what I'm saying? That's just the whole thing. Now, the thing is, if you get the frozen semen, you better be knowing what to do with it. Don't get frozen semen just shipped to you and then you don't know what to do with it. Now you waste sperm because you done let it unthaw or some other kind of stuff. If you order frozen semen from somebody, order it from the vet. Make sure when the vet get it, that they check it, they make sure all the semen is living. It could be frozen, but somebody gonna have to tell me something. I can't just buy no frozen, something froze, and then put it in another freezer, and we never checked it. This might be water in there. You know what I'm saying? So we gonna have to check it to make sure what's what. They let the vet get it. They can take some of it out and thaw it out or whatever, or however they do it. They got their procedures and they equipment or whatever. So, I don't see where a brother can lose either way. You got brothers who want to breed a female to the Macho Bear stuff with the sperm, and get their own litter. I don't see where you can lose with that. Getting a puppy, me myself, I would get a puppy off Macho Bear if there's a puppy available. Get a female. That way you can breed and make your puppies off of them. It's just different ways and how much time you got. Some brothers in a rush and want to get their thing started off now, so they'll get it. And like I said, I can't say nothing about the price wise because $5,000 is a reasonable price for, I would think that, I mean, if I'm doing frozen sperm, selling frozen sperm to somebody, I'm not getting it for the same price that you would come get this stud fee for. This is my stuff that I got put up. You gotta look at it like that. I got this stuff put up for saving purposes. You know what I'm saying? If you want to buy it, this is what it's gonna cost you. You want to breed to that dog if he's still living. 9 times out of 10, if you buying the frozen semen, the dog not living no more. So you getting semen from a dog that's not living is automatically gonna take you in a few thousand, in the 1,000 bracket, not no 1,000, 5,000 and 10,000 and 15 and 20. It just depends on who you getting the dog from. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it just is what it is, man. You got to be able to trust whoever you're getting the actual frozen semen from. That's what it's all about at the end of the day. And if you can't trust that person, why are you dealing with them? You just got to deal with people that you feel like are official, and do your research. Have you heard anything bad about these frozen semen breedings? Do you know anybody got anything off the frozen semen breedings? How they looking that's coming off the frozen semen? If they looking like Macho Bear, or if they showing true traits of it, or just whatever, man. But at the end of the day, do what makes you happy. But you know why? Because your story and things you go through is what's gonna make you and turn you into that veteran dog man. And then the days that you could tell your stories, you could tell how you went and bought frozen semen. Maybe it didn't work out. Maybe it did work out. Maybe you said, oh, I'm going to take a risk today. I really don't trust it, but I'm going to take a risk. And that was the best risk I ever took in my life when it comes to these dogs. Everything jumped off then. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it'll be like that, but that'll be your story. You know what I'm saying? And everybody's story different. We can't let's say, oh, we all spent the same thing on the same dogs and got the same results and bought the same supplements and bought the same steroids and weight collars and treadmills and different type of exercise equipment. Brothers went all different routes when it comes to different things and got different results as well as same results. But when they give their story, that's what makes each story unique, because everybody go through their own little situation. You know what I'm saying? Now, brother said, starting as a new yard from nothing. Starting as a new yard from nothing, what advice would I give my teenage self? You know what I'm saying? What would I do differently from what I did back then? And how many dogs would I need to start my yard off with? Now, starting a new yard back then, or just looking back when I had, some of my dogs as a teenager. First thing I always say, that ruined a lot of dogs is pride. It ruined them because you didn't have to go get him if you could take him cracking on you. If you could take that dude saying, oh man, your dog ain't nothing. He would have been in that backyard healing up, But pride, nah, man, I'm about to go get him. If you can take that part of it, you know what I'm saying? The peer pressure, you know what I'm saying? If you, like when you asked me a few on the last show, brother asked about the healing process in between times. Like I told brother that got up on my comments and made a comment about something out, like you can listen to me speaking when I was speaking about the healing process in between dogs, and you can tell I didn't know that and basically what he was saying. So I'm explaining the healing process and what I've been through in the healing process of a dog that I had when I was a teenager. So I was thinking like a teenager. You know what I'm saying? That's why I was telling the brother. See, brothers jump in a video and they only get 5 minutes of the story and then start dropping into the comments before they even listen to the rest of the video. Before they even listen to it. Let my dog heal up would have been one of the main things I would have did. He never walked around with no gashes all in his face, no none of that. Little leg cuts here and there. Them leg cuts you think be healed up, don't be healed up. The one time in the chest, the rock in the chest, I I know how to use scalpels. I know how to dig out blood clots. I know how to do all that. I know how to suck a blood clot out with a needle, an actual needle. I done did it all. I done did stitching and everything, in my time. Stitching this up, stitching that up, cutting this off, cutting that off, and still having a great looking dog without the dog looking disfigured. But see, like I just told y'all, you go through things so you can have your story, so you can learn things. By me going through that with Sambo and going through the chest part and going through all the healing of this, and I learned over a period of time, you know what I'm saying? Well before I gave the game up, I learned, he gonna be stronger when you do this. He gonna be better when you do that. You know what I'm saying? You get more out of him when you do this. You learn. That's why I say before, a lot of y'all can't give y'all stories about these dogs because you only want to tell the good part of your stories. You're too embarrassed to tell when you out there fucking up. You won't tell that part of it. You only want to tell the good part to make you sound like such a great dog man. That's why you'll never make it on these YouTube channels. You're too scared to be transparent. It just is what it is, man. I would, definitely let my dog heal up more. I would focus more on breeding. I would take my breeding program more seriously. I had the perfect dogs with the breeding. When I say take my breeding program more seriously, I mean, make sure the puppies live. Make sure, all I was worried about was performing. I'm winning. I'm running the show. Ain't nobody stopping me. Can't be touched. I ain't worrying about the puppies come, they come. You know what I'm saying? You feeling and you riding that wave. Now the old me would tell the new me, chill out. Let that dog heal up. You know what I'm saying? Let that dog heal up and you get a whole better dog. Focus on the breeding. Get some puppies. You know what I'm saying? Get some money off the puppies. Create some better dogs. See which dogs produce the best with this dog. See which dog produced the best with this dog. That's what I would have told the young me. Starting off with no dogs in them days, what would I do? Get the best dog, get the best dog you can find as a puppy off some of the best stuff. Do research on the lines that you're trying to get. So that way you don't be looking at a paper. See, now when I say this don't really, today's time, you can't do certain research on dogs that we could do back in them days. It wasn't nothing for a brother when you're going to buy something to let you see what's what doing, what this doing, or what that doing. Nowadays you're not going to get that. So you got to go off of what somebody tell you, or looking at the pedigree in the papers or whatever, or just what you see in the actual dog by looking at them. For a brother to give you some type of story about something, he really got to know you, on that level. And most brothers ain't really doing it like that right now. Brothers know how it was, especially the brothers that was in it back then. Brothers that was in it back then know how it was back then, and they see the difference in it now, and they don't even want to be bothered up with it. And when it comes to the amount of dogs you need to start your yard up, you don't need no whole lot of dogs. You can't give your attention to a whole lot of dogs. You can take that 1 or 2 dogs and make them look like this brother who got 50. Yeah, you can't sell the puppies he can sell. But when it comes to your dogs looking a certain way, it's different. It's a whole different ball game. When it comes to your dogs performing, it's a whole different ball game. His dogs ain't gonna perform like your dog's gonna perform. Your dog's got hands-on work, dealing with the owner, hands-on, because there's only a few of them. Yard size won't make your yard better, Adding the right dog seal program will make your yard better. But there's no specific size that you gotta say, I gotta start my yard up with this. As long as you got a male and a female that can make you some puppies. You can't start a yard up with just a male. And you can start a yard up with just a female though. Because you can go breed to somebody else dog. Get you a female and go find the best dog to stud to that you're looking for. You can start your yard up like that. But given the 15, 16, 17-year-old me information, what I would have told him back then, just chill. Like I say, focus on the breeding, focus more on the legal aspect far as selling my puppies, getting great puppies off of it. Even if I would be considered a puppy peddler, I'd have been giving brothers dogs off great dogs. You know what I'm saying? And they wouldn't have really cared. You know, it wouldn't have cared. It wasn't in the days like it is now where you got brothers hating on you in the ways they hate on you now. You know what I'm saying? If they didn't buy your dog, they just didn't buy your dog. You know, other than that, these brothers now, they're not gonna buy your dog, and they're not gonna buy the next man dog who they bigging up as well. They ain't gonna spend nothing on nothing, but they just want to talk about something. That's where we at now in this dog game. That's where we at now. And you know, like I said, man, the more mature me, the older me, I wouldn't change some of the stuff I did with Bo because he had a hellified career. You know, I probably would have never got rid of him. You know, that was one of the mistakes I made as a young dog person. You know, just want to sell a dog. Say you selling a dog for the high. You know, just want to feel that dog man feeling to sell a dog for the high. Maybe you need a couple dollars or something. Instead of doing this to get you a couple dollars, you do it like that. Not knowing that this dog right here is a cornerstone dog. When I say cornerstone dog, I mean a dog that could change many people's lives, not just mine. The person who get offspring off that dog, you know, and the people who get offspring from that dog. You don't realize that when you're a teenager, you know, coming up in them days. When I say we was in the Wild Wild West days when it came to the dog game, it was all, you know, you can do anything when it comes to them dogs back then. Y'all in the Wild Wild West when it comes to people, the way these people act. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got a whole different class of people than what we had back then with the dogs. Same dogs, different class of people. So you get different reactions now. That's why I said again, brother, this dog game box wise is not a place meant to be using a child's brain that they should be getting knowledge to learn about something in life that's gonna help them further down than that box that ain't got nothing to benefit from it at all, period, right about now. You know? And then the brother, one of the brothers asked me about you know, the Turtle Buster stuff. And I'm gonna say it like this, like I always say. I can't really speak on stuff I didn't have. I had a dog that I was told was Turtle Buster, but I really think in my heart, it was maybe Turtle Buster, but I didn't know exactly what it was coming down off of, so I'm not gonna give it a bad name or say I didn't like the dogs. But you know, they was average, the ones I seen. But you know, like I said before, I'm not gonna use them as from what I think about Turtle Buster dogs. Like if a brother give me or say he got a Turtle Buster dog for sale, I'm not gonna look back at the ones I had and say, oh, your Turtle Buster like that, because I don't really know what mine was because I didn't have the papers on them. You know, and far as their success rate, I mean, I hear a lot of people talking great about them that run them. It's pretty much gonna be the ball any way you play it out. Whatever brother's running, you know, they're gonna give you the good side of it and the bad side as well. But if a brother ain't really running it, they may not know nothing too much about it. You know, the handicap and Niggerino I was asked about. Handicap versus Niggerino, which one's the best? You know, me myself, I'm gonna roll with the handicap stuff. I think handicap has produced better dogs, better conformationally sound dogs, more gamer dogs than Niggerino. Not saying that Niggerino don't produce great dogs or haven't produced great dogs. I just think the handicap stuff was more pre-potent. You know, it took the traits that handicapped them a whole lot harder, you know, a whole lot better than that Niggerino stuff. And just maybe the handicap stuff was just better than the Niggerino stuff from the start. You know, and like I always say, when you start with a level of bulldog, you gotta expect somewhere near that when you're making your offspring breedings. You know, how you gonna expect a super dynamite triple grand champion when you start with mediocre dogs? And see, you won't never know it's mediocre because you don't want to spend for nothing. You don't want to buy nothing. You know? I don't know what to say, man. I don't know what to say when it come to that. But I do know with the question about handicap versus niggerino, I'm going to roll with handicap, all day. I know more brothers who got dogs down off of handicap that's speaking highly on them than I know brothers who got them down off niggerino. But the ones, I know more brothers that had the niggerino stuff than I know that had the handicap stuff. If that makes any sense. The brothers who I know had the handicap, all of them talking, majority of them talking good about them dogs. The brothers that I know that had the niggerino, and I seen some of them do what they do and lose. But you had good ones as well. So, I can't sit here and talk down on them, but I have seen my share of niggerino dogs. This is not my cup of tea. Not my cup of tea. Now, the brother asked me as well, what's the difference between USA Eli and the Mexican Eli strand? The Mexican Eli strand and USA Eli. I will say this. I can't tell you all the way. I'm not an Eli man. But I know they say the Mexican Eli is coming down off the T-Bud stuff. The American Eli, which we USA Eli, what you was speaking on, is coming down off of the Boudreaux's Eli stuff, but all the Eli dogs. When it comes to USA Eli, you got all them dogs is coming down off Eli, of course. Even the T-Bud dog. T-Bud is even coming down off Eli and all of them. But the thing is, all the Eli offspring is in the American Eli stuff. When you got Chinaman dogs, you got these kind of dogs, you got these kind of dogs. All these dogs coming down off Eli, Eli strainer dogs, the Epinette dogs, or these dogs, or that dog, not just one little line of Mexican Eli stuff. The USA is a bigger basket of Eli dogs, if I'm saying it right. It's a bigger basket. You go look for the Eli dogs in America, you're going to find these kind of Eli dogs, these kind of Eli dogs. These Eli dogs bred with the red boy. These Eli dogs go better with the Jeep. These Eli dogs go better with this stuff. But then you got the Mexican Eli strain that they have yet to figure out what the Mexican Eli strain goes great with. Maybe it goes great with everything. But is it red boy Mexican Eli? Jeep Mexican Eli? Bolio Mexican Eli? What does it go great with? To me, the Mexican Eli, although it has been out for a long while, they still haven't mastered all the kinks in it yet. They still haven't mastered all the kinks in it yet. But like I said though, myself, I never had it. My homeboys had some of that Mexican Eli stuff. They liked it. It was a great looking dog to me. Act great, definitely act great. Can't really say nothing bad about it. I just know the Mexican Eli strain is, one or two dogs. When you got the American Eli strain, ain't no telling who you got up in there. Anything that's coming down off the Eli dog, and they consider Eli dogs, or the Eli strain here in America. You might have 15, 20 different Eli strains. All I'm going back to Eli, but it's bred 15, 20 different ways. And everybody got their own stud that they feel like is a T-Bud. You see, T-Bud is that stud that started the Mexican Eli stuff, but everybody in America got some type of Eli dog that they feel like is on T-Bud level. So that's the difference. It's just a whole lot more Eli dogs here in America compared to the Mexican Eli stuff. You know what I'm saying? And another question he was asking about, who's the most successful Bolio blood after brother Patrick that floating around. Now that, I'm curious to wonder who got the best Bolio blood, because if you ask me, brother, I would think it's Gaston. I haven't seen nobody focus on pure buck Bolio blood outside of buck dogs, and then you get them from the Gaston stuff. Nobody else has really put their kennel out there to say, are these all buck dogs? You know what I'm saying? Or all Bolio dogs. everybody, going to Eli, the Jeep, the Red Boy Jocko, the, Buck and Red Boy Jocko, the Bolio, the Red Boy Jocko, or, stuff like that. But as far as like, I think myself, Gaskin may be the last person that I know of from the old school that had like the pure Bolio or Buck stuff. Without having, maybe Gaston had a little Red Boy in it time to time, or different dogs had some Red Boy or some Red Boy Jocko in it, but predominantly, they ran the Buck stuff or the Bolio stuff. And you don't really see too many kennels broadcasting straight Bolio. But there's some great dogs out there, The brothers talking about that Red Pirate dog. Some brothers are saying he threw human aggressive dogs. It's a lot of great Bolio dogs out there. I just don't know who actually is running the most successful line right now. If you can get something that said Gaskin in the first, second, third pedigrees and stuff like that, you might have you some good Bolio stuff, some good Buck stuff. Cause I know he was one of I think he's still living. I know he's one of the dog men who was still pumping that stuff after Pat Patrick. But yeah, man, just try to give my opinion on certain things, man, and give y'all some good dog talk for the day. I think I pretty much covered everything, man. You know what I'm saying? All we can do, man, is take care of these dogs and hope for the best. Take care of these dogs and hope for the best. The prices don't do nothing but keep going up on the dog food. We paying more and more every year when it comes to one dog. The price for one dog upkeep is quadruple what it probably would have been 10 years, 15 years ago. We ain't even going back to the 90s. Just go back 10, 15 years. Man, shit is getting outrageous when it comes to these dogs, man. It's like they trying to peel every dollar they can from out your pocket. That's why they peeling all that stuff off the shelves, like the antibiotics and all that stuff. Because you go buy them antibiotics for $30, or that fish marks or that penicillin for $30 out the tractor store, when they gonna get it and you gonna go get your infection healed at the vet, you gonna pay them $200 some to get it. Get it by the time you get the medicine and the dog checked and all that, you done kicked out $200 going on $300. So they're gonna take all the antibiotics off the shelf. Now they're gonna get them $300 out you, one way or another, because you ain't spending them $30 no more to get it off the shelf. So you're gonna have to kick out the $300 if you need that dog healed. You know what I'm saying? So but yeah, man. Y'all just like I always say, man, stay safe out there. Keep doing the right things with these dogs, man. And remember, man, PBK9s, giving it to you fair and uncut, raw and unbiased. Some gonna like it, some ain't. Y'all stay safe, and I'm out.
No, I'm not a writer.
Okay.
Still